Well, let's bring in Yossi Mekelberg, who's an associate fellow with the Middle East and North Africa program at Chatham House. Yossi, hello. With such vastly different messages on these negotiations, can you actually assess if any progress is being made?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It doesn't seem that much progress has been made. We hear contradictory statements not only from Iran and the United States. We hear contradictory messages from the U.S. From the U.S. itself, from President Trump. And so I think that at the same time they try to create a reality. It's more about a PR exercise between them, try to put pressure, then because there is probably an impasse in the negotiations, both sides can actually reach not only an agreement, even the principle in which how they negotiate and what they negotiate about. And you see for one day the Strait of Hormuz, Iran declared it's open, and the next day it's closed, and one tanker was already attacked. What's the future of the enriched uranium? I think one of the problems is the clock is ticking when it comes to the end of the ceasefire, and both sides think what can they achieve until the ceasefire comes to an end if it's not renewed.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, I think, 4 days left before that ceasefire ends. No confirmation that it's going to be extended. So who, in your view, needs a deal more?
I think both sides need a deal, but they will go all the way to the brink because they need to go back to their own constituencies and says that they achieved the maximum. And one point, they might not even be able to reach an agreement to find enough commonality there that will ensure for the Iranian regime is to ensure its own survival. For Donald Trump is to say at the end of the day, I achieved what I wanted to achieve in terms of nuclear, ballistic missiles, Strait of Hormuz, supporting the proxies. But I think because of the difference between the political system, probably the pressure is more on the United States, because it started the war together with Israel on the assumption of a best-case scenario that will achieve all their objectives within days, including regime change. Now, we are approaching 50 days plus of this, and this is far from being achieved.
A French peacekeeper has been killed in Lebanon. Hezbollah denies any responsibility. Do you believe the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon will hold?
I think it's a very fragile ceasefire, and we know it from the beginning. Bear in mind, this ceasefire was imposed in Israel by the United States. The Israeli government was not interested in this ceasefire. It was more an Iranian demand in order to open the Strait of Hormuz, and as a result, the United States pressurized Netanyahu to agree to this ceasefire. Israel believes that it has an unfinished business in Lebanon, mainly disarming Hezbollah. Israel has legitimate concerns as far as the Hezbollah is concerned, but at the same time, the idea that it will continue the war almost endlessly is only going to destabilize further Lebanon unless the Lebanese government is capable of imposing its own authority. So I think we probably will continue to see hostilities there too.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Yossi Mekelberg.